When you're talking about the evolution of Calvin Kattar, then what's next for him, DC?
You know, it's continuing to move back up the rankings. Now, we've seen him against the best, the elite of the division in Max Holloway. He didn't fare so well.
Yeah.
But the Calvin Kattar we saw on Saturday night showed improvement. Now, the one thing I think that he took the most from the previous fight was he wasn't getting pushed backwards anymore. He went in there with an idea that he was going to be the hammer opposed to being the nail, Ryan.
And he kept the pressure
in the
on
Holloway
the entire
fight, he was the
time.
nail.
Yeah, he kept the pressure on the entire time. It was actually relentless, and you can kind of see Giga Chikadze kind of starting to wilt and falter under the pressure. It was kind of the first time we'd seen him in this position since being in the UFC. And now when you're Calvin Kattar and you have the microphone after the fight and you're inside the octagon, you have an opportunity to position yourself, right? To put yourself in a different spot and be able to call out your next guy, especially when your performance is so impressive against an up-and-comer in the UFC. Did Calvin Kattar miss an opportunity to set himself up for the next fight? Is there a Brian Ortega? Or can you even call for Alexander Volkanovski in the sense that, you know, he's fighting number 4 now. It's not necessarily that he's fighting the next guy up. They skipped over Yair Rodriguez. And so maybe in this sense or in this opportunity, Calvin Kattar could have put himself in those discussions.
You know what the problem with that is, Ryan? I, for a long time, have had an issue with guys not taking the initiative. You know, the guys that are the best on the microphone, you see a lot of them doing the job that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Chael Sonnen was a master at grabbing that microphone after the fight and making the statement.
Yep.
I always had something planned. Michael Chandler, when he beat Dan Hooker, had something planned, right? No matter what, in those moments, you'll never have more eyes on you than in that moment in the middle of the octagon. You got to call your shot. You have got to start to set yourself up for the next thing. I do believe Calvin Kattar missed an opportunity, but I think when you're on the receiving end of the beating that he took in the previous fight, you're almost just relieved to come back and get a victory. So if the only negative thing that we have to say about Calvin Kattar is that he didn't set up the next thing, that's a great position for Calvin Kattar to be in, because when he got hit by Max Holloway 500 times, you never knew he could be the same guy. He not only was the same guy, he was a better version.
A better fighter.
And I think this is another chance for Chikadze to learn not to look forward, because the momentum he had built allowed for him to start to say, you chose the Korean Zombie because it's an easy fight, champion. Why not me? You can't talk about why not me when you still got a tough guy like Calvin Kattar standing in front of you on Saturday night. So for a young guy like Giga, and he's not a young guy, but young in his mixed martial arts career. Yes, young in the UFC, it's an opportunity for him to learn. I got to keep my eyes solely focused on what's in front of me right now, or you end up where he is today, licking his wounds.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you have some of the impressive performances that he's had, you actually beat a guy who was a former champion, you start to feel yourself a little bit, and you think that you should deserve certain opportunities that you truly haven't earned yet. But we're starting to see this with more and more young fighters, whether it's Islam Makhachev or if it's Chimaev. These guys who are winning these fights impressively, young in their careers, are starting to be more vocal about the people we want to fight. I mean, you know, Sugar Sean O'Malley is one of the most popular fighters in the UFC, and he's a guy who's recently gotten rank. And so I think that guys like Chikadze see these people position themselves, become stars kind of even before they've earned the big fight. And I think that's just what he was trying to do. And let's be honest, when you watch kind of the mastery of Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar, the last fight, you do overlook him a little bit. You do look at Max Holloway.
But you got to be Max Holloway to do that, right?
Exactly.
But you got to be Max Holloway to do that.
Right. And the whole time I'm watching Calvin Kattar this weekend fight against Chikadze, I'm thinking to myself, God dang, how good Max Holloway must be.
How good is Max Holloway?
Yeah.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.